You can come back. Would that work?
Yeah, that's.
If we take a break?
Yeah, my other hearing won't be that long, but it's for a trial that's coming up and I have to do it.
Joe is going to give me the top page of this. You gonna get back to county today? Joe?
Jane or Janet?
She's Jean and Kate.
Or Kate, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the names right for the video. Sorry, Kate.
That's okay.
I'm trying to get all these names together. Okay. We're gonna go, this is on video, so I'm gonna do this video sheet. And then in the middle of it, I'm gonna advise you of your rights. Okay, today's date is April 24th, 2008. I'm Detective Joe Delmonico of the Denver Police Department. And the time is approximately 12:40 p.m. Okay, we are located in video room 2A at Denver Police Department headquarters. The person being interviewed is Edward Johnson. What's your date of birth, Edward?
11/17/91.
Guess they fixed that vacuum.
81.
I'm sorry, 81. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put the address of the county jail right now. Do you have any cell phone or anything? Message phone? No. Okay, also present is a lot of people. Edward has 2 attorneys. Gene Bowers. That's right?
Powers.
Powers.
P-O-W-E-R-S.
I said Bowers. Gene Powers.
Again.
Yeah. I don't know how to. Kate.
Dulitsky, D-U-L.
D-U-L-I-T.
Z-K-Y.
Z-K-Y. Okay, Denver District Attorney, and both the Gene and Kate are Edward's attorneys. And then District Attorney Victoria Powers. Victoria Sharp. I wasn't gonna get it right. I was gonna write this down first. And then robbery detective Paul Powers. Paul Baca.
Guys are having a last name envy, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Okay, the equipment is on auto, but there are people watching it. At this point, I'm going to advise you of your rights. Okay, your attorneys are here, and they explained to you that I was going to do that, right? Okay.
Yes.
Explain this though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, today's date is still April 24th, 2008, and now it's a little bit after. It's about 12:42 p.m. Department Denver Police Headquarters. You have a right to remain silent. You understand that? Anything you say can be used as evidence against you in court. Do you understand that?
I'm going to interrupt right here because the proffer is going to affect those.
Yeah,
rights.
and I'm going to explain that when we get to the other part of the
Okay.
video sheet.
Okay.
About the agreements and stuff that we've made. Okay?
The first advisement is the standard advisement. The second
Yeah.
advisement is the advisement that will be in motion and that we'll be relying on in this case.
And it's on video, so
Yeah,
there's
and
no
then,
question about what was said and what was promised.
okay.
So.
All right, and then when you nod your head like that, that means yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. You have a right to talk to a lawyer before questioning, have a present during questioning, you understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay, if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you without cost you before questioning, you understand that, right? Do you understand each of these rights I've read to you? Okay. I need you to sign.
And you, because these are both, you both.
And you understand your rights? Okay, and then keep it right here. Knowing my rights and knowing what I'm doing, I now wish to voluntarily talk to you. And you sign right here, and you understand that. Okay. I'm gonna have Baca witness that. Okay, now I'm gonna go through these, this is what the interview concerns, and then there's gonna be some questions after that I'm gonna ask, and then that's when I'll have the district attorney explain the agreements that we've made. This interview concerns investigation of a homicide that is reported to have occurred at 850 King Street in Denver, Colorado on July 21st, 2003 at the approximate time of 1:40 p.m. The case number is 2003-32466. All right, here's where Victoria comes in. If any promises or threats have been made at any time by myself or anyone else to get you to make this statement, and I'm just going to explain by the district attorney.
Okay, so we've had, is it fair to say that we've had some ongoing negotiations for the past, 2 months or so, trying to get to talk to you, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what I have discussed with your lawyers is that you are gonna give us some information today under a proffer. And the proffer, the written proffer is here. This is the written portion of our agreement. And it basically says that what you tell us today can't be used against you in court. Okay, so you're gonna give us information, but we can't, you know, if there's a video of this being made, but we can't, if we prosecute you for something that you talk about here, we can't use the statements that you're giving to us in court in a jury trial or any other hearing, okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a couple of exceptions. Number one, if you give us a false statement, you can be prosecuted for a false statement or attempt to influence a public servant, stuff like that, okay? And also, if you testify, let's say you give us information relating to an event and we're prosecuting someone else.
Mm-hmm.
If you testify for the DA's office against this person, we can use this statement as impeachment, meaning if you say something different on the stand, we can say, well, isn't it true that you spoke to us on April 24th and you told us X, Y, and Z? Okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And this applies to what is called derivative evidence, which means that if you lead us to certain physical evidence, we also can't use that against you.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you? Okay. Do you understand that this is not an agreement that you will not be prosecuted for anything that you talk about today? I know you want it to be, but do you understand that you're not immune from prosecution?
Yes.
Okay. And also, we talked, I think about last week, with a DA from Arapahoe County named Dan Plattner, and I'm gonna ask Ms. Powers and Ms. Dulitsky to confirm this, but we had a conversation where we talked to him and said, if he gives us good information on whatever you know, will Dan Plattner reduce the sentence that you're looking at in Arapahoe County? And he said, I will consider whatever you guys have to say. And that's the best that he will do. Okay? Do you understand that? He has agreed essentially, and this may have changed since last week.
It's a bit different than that. I have a separate document which has been prepared by Dan Plattner, which he intended to circulate, but I didn't get mine, so I assume that you did not get yours, which indicates that for statements that you provide, any direct evidence or any derivative evidence in any matter that you provide, that while you may be prosecuted in relation to those events, that the sentence you would receive would be no higher than the high teens. It would be in the range of the high teens. So they are not giving you immunity. but what they are saying is that they probably will prosecute you on some of those cases, but that any information you provide, that it will be wrapped into a sentence that will not exceed the high teens.
Understood.
Now, with the case that you have charged here, that Ms. Dulitsky represents you on and that I have assigned to me, you're charged with burglary and robbery, or attempted robbery, from an incident that happened when you ran from a location during an attempted robbery and you ran into someone's house and entered that house. The agreement with respect to that case is that you're gonna get a Class 5 felony, and it's maximum of 6 years. It's probably a maximum of 3 depending on what your status was, if you're on parole or anything, but a maximum of 6 years, and that would be concurrent with your Arapahoe County case.
Okay.
Okay? Aside from everything that we've just laid out here, have any other promises or threats been made to you?
At this point in time, I would like to just engage the detective to describe our conversations in your presence.
Okay.
I sent an email to the detectives and to the district attorney in this case yesterday, which basically is addressed to you, Detective DeMonico, and it indicates what I expect to happen today. Did you get that email?
Did I read it today?
Did you read it? Well, did you read it when you got it? Have you read it?
I haven't read this because I haven't even looked at my emails
Oh, you haven't?
today.
Well,
No.
that wasn't exactly how I expected your answer to be.
No, I didn't know that.
That email is my summary of our conversations.
Oh, okay, or about the third person.
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't here yesterday, so I just didn't even read my mails today.
And I should have handed it to you earlier. I apologize. You did get yours. Is that correct?
I've gotten so many. I think so. I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay.
And the district attorney has made it clear that with regard to a 2003 event, that there is no immunity, which is what I believe that we're about to discuss. There is no immunity.
Okay.
However, she has indicated that she will rely upon you and consider and value any opinions that you give as to how the matter should be addressed in a judicial proceeding. And it is my understanding that if you are satisfied and that you feel that our client has provided you truthful, complete answers, that you are in agreement and not objecting to a sentence, to recommend and to advocate for a sentence in that case to not exceed the Arapahoe County sentence, which is as much as the high teens.
I agree.
Is that right?
Yes.
Now, obviously, that's your opinion, your recommendation, and is not meant to be, and I'm not implying that is a promise upon you. But I want to make sure that we are all clear that this is what page we're on, and that is our expectation if things go as we've planned, that is the result that we will probably find ourselves at.
I agree with that.
The one thing we have not talked about, Victoria, is to the extent that he discusses other events beyond the 2003, it is my understanding we do have your agreement that those sentences would not be in excess of the high teens.
Anything that's in Denver that I have control over, obviously, because if there's anything in Arapahoe County, I have
Right.
no jurisdiction over that. But as much as I can control what we can,
Right.
yes.
Okay, excellent. That's great. Is there anything
Well,
else?
and subject to VRA.
Right, Victim Bill of Rights, and that would be, and to the extent that this has not been discussed, the victims have a right in the state of Colorado to have a voice in this process, and that voice is given deference and respect, but it is not necessarily it is not mandated that it be followed. So it is possible that at some point in time, a victim could step up and say, I do not agree with this disposition. It personally is not how I want to see this case be resolved. At that point in time, the district attorneys can defer to the victim, or they can suggest to the court that in light of their experience and the totality of the circumstances, that this is a plea disposition that they would be asking the court to accept. Then it's up to the court to decide whether or not they're willing to respect the agreement or not.
I think that covers everything.
Okay.
And it's great
I got a
if
few
anything
more.
comes up, then we'll just.
And I'm gonna
Yes.
leave you a copy of this,
Yes,
just so
I need
that
that.
you have a complete.
And I
Make
did
sure that
receive
I
it.
have that.
Great, thanks.
Okay, and then I'll just finish. Are you under the influence of any narcotic, drug, or alcohol at this time? Okay, is this statement being made voluntarily?
Yes.
And you understand this interview is being both video and audio recorded?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, this is how I want to start. I start all my interviews like this. So the people that watch this later, if it's used later, they know who you are and kind of understand who you are. So I want you to kind of just tell me about yourself and tell me about where you grew up and kind of, you know, mom and dad, where you grew up, where you lived, and your brother and stuff. About your brother.
Oh,
Not
at this
about,
point-
I'm not telling you to name your brother, I just want you to say that you have a brother.
No, I understand that, and I just need to make a record that I forgot earlier. It is my direction to my client that to the extent that you have questions relating to a third party involved in the 2003 event, that he not answer those questions, that he would simply remain quiet. It would be my preference that you not ask any questions about a third party, because my concern would be that there might be an interpretation of his body language as a response. So it would be best if we didn't address the third party.
Okay.
But I understand now you're asking, I don't mean to, I just
Yeah, I'm
forgot.
just asking
You mentioned it
basically
earlier
some
and I just forgot.
background information as to where, and I know you're looking kind of like, why do I gotta do that? But that's why I start all my interviews like that, so people know where you are and who you are and why you're here. Okay, and it's just basically all I'm asking is where you grew up. You know, your dad is passed. You know, your mama lives in Florida, stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay.
My dad is passed.
No, tell me about where you went to school when you grew up here in Denver.
I grew up a lot of places. I'm a military brat.
Okay, see, that's the stuff I want you to talk about. Just
My
real quick.
parents are divorced. They're both military.
Okay,
I have a sister and I have a brother.
okay,
I went to school overseas. I went to school in Florida. I went to school here in Denver.
okay.
Um,
And you have a brother named Marcus.
yes, and a
Okay.
sister named Paige.
Okay, all right. All right, and then does your sister live here?
No, my sister lives in Florida.
Does your brother live here?
No, my brother lives in Florida.
Okay. All right. Now, do you?
Well, he comes back and forth, just
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
I understand that because I talked to him in Florida before.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the information I gave about this homicide that we're talking about?
The information that you gave me?
Yeah, about the address, the date and time and all that.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
I'm going to excuse myself now so I don't disrupt anything I'd be hearing. But I'll be watching and listening, and I've got my cell phone if there are any questions.
Excellent, thank you.
I'm just gonna let you talk, and then I'll follow up with some questions, okay? And I'm gonna take notes while you're talking, and I might interrupt you and say, ask you something in between, but you just go ahead and start from the beginning. And I wanna start basically how your day started that day. And if something led up to it prior to that, I want you to start, you know, like, okay, a couple days before we did this, and that's what led up to it. So start where the beginning is, and I want as much detail as I want. So if I ask you, like, if you remember what TV show you're watching that day, that's the kind of stuff I want, okay?
Yeah, we talking about 03 though, so you know what I mean?
I understand that.
I don't remember exactly how the day started. I could just remember that, you know what I mean, Alex came to my house, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And got to talking to me about, you know what I mean?
Okay, now Alex, do you know his last name?
Yeah, Montoya.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So he came to me telling me about a little drug deal and some other little business with some stolen little property. Went bad, you know what I mean, with some Mexican guy he was dealing with, you know what I mean?
Do you know what kind of property it was?
I just know it was like stolen, just like either TV, DVD type shit like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And some drug shit, you know what I mean? So apparently he's telling me about how this guy burned him. We didn't just like burn him, but he got over on him, you know what I mean?
Okay, explain that. What do you think that meant?
He either shorted him on some money or didn't give him some money, some kind of way like that, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
He really didn't get into clearness of it, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, well, what do you wanna do? He was like, well, he wanted to go get the stuff back, I guess, you know what I mean? He was gonna get some drugs and stuff from the guy, you know what I mean? Apparently this guy has a lot of drugs or whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm like, well, alright, I'll roll with you if that's what you wanna do, you know what I mean? So he basically just asked me to come with him, so we went with him, but he didn't know where exactly the address was or whatever. Since he didn't know what the address was, some other guy either jumped in the car with us. We went and picked him up. I don't exactly know where we picked him up at, but we went and picked him up. He jumped in the truck with us.
Okay, real quick, do you remember what, before we get too slow, I want you to go, you give me as much detail as you can, so when you jump from, picking him up and driving, what kind of car were you in? Do you remember
We were
that?
in his Jeep.
Okay, do you remember what color that was?
I think it's tan. Gold, tan, whatever.
Alright. And, do you remember what part of town that was?
I truthfully don't. Just, you know, what do you mean, what part of town?
Well, because you know the difference, like Montbello or Green Valley where your dad lived. That's like east side or East Denver, or a lot of guys just call it Green Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got West Side, you got East Side, East of Broadway, East Side, Park Hills, East Side.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at. What do you call it?
Wherever, I can't exactly say exactly East Side, West Side, exactly what side it was in. I just know it wasn't that far from the actual house, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was maybe 15 minutes from the house, not like, you know what I mean? And that's coming through the city, not just highway.
Okay.
And that's the best I can do on that. I'm
Okay.
not good with directions.
You
know
weren't
what I mean?
driving?
No.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so you guys picked this guy up.
we pick this dude up. He takes us to the house, you know what I mean? We drive by the house. There's a bunch of cars outside. Basically, he was just showing us where it was at. You know what I mean? And saying he had all the drugs and stuff under the kitchen. Like, you know what I mean? Under the little kitchen sink thing, you know what I mean?
Okay, and who was telling you that?
The extra Mexican guy, you know what I mean? He's a Chicano guy, light skinned, almost look like you.
Okay, so let me just get this clear. You pick him up,
Mm-hmm.
and then you what do you park outside and he goes in or something? Or?
No, we just drive by there.
Oh, okay, and he tells you
He
where
just shows us the house. He just
Oh,
like, okay,
okay.
that's it right there. Because Alex didn't know where it was either.
Okay, and
You know
then
what
he
I mean?
tells you that?
He tells us exactly where it is. It's like, it's him, that's it right there.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
alright.
So I'm like, all right.
Describe that guy a little bit more for me.
Then Chicano, light complected. He had
Okay.
more like, it wasn't a bald head, but just close cut. You know what I mean?
Okay. And you picked him up. Was there anything near his house that was like some type of landmark that you can remember?
Not really.
Was it by the highway? Was it a busy street?
It was not too far from a big park. That's all I know, like a
Okay.
big open like park.
Okay.
It looked like a soccer park or something, you know what I mean? Not like a kid park, like you know what I
Okay.
mean?
And this was close to where you went?
This is closer to his house, you know what I mean? Because we dropped dude back off at his house, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then we went back, you know what I mean? Looked around. There was a bunch of cars still there.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? We was going to call it off, but we end up, you know what I mean, just kind of killing time and spinning back around. We spin back around, the cars wasn't there no more, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So we was like, all right, we're going to go. So we went, you know what I mean? When we was going, we had the guns already, you know what I mean? So I'll take two of the guns. He grabbed one of the guns, you know what I mean? We throw on some hats and some long sleeve shirts, you know what I mean? Dark colored long sleeve shirts. I can't remember if they was black or just, I just remember that, you know what I mean? We had long sleeve shirts, like padding,
Okay.
you know what I mean? To make yourself look like a bigger person.
Okay, kind of like those plaid shirts with the pad underneath them or something, or I mean, what were
Yeah,
they?
it's like, I can't remember the exact color, but I just remember we had on, you know what I mean, long sleeve, dark colored clothing, you know what I mean? I can't say
Okay.
if it was plaid.
Okay.
We had on some hats, brown hats, you know what I mean?
What kind of hats? Baseball hats?
Actually, they were basketball hats. They were throwbacks. They were brown and light brown.
And the brand was Throwback? Or the
Nah, the brand is New Era. But they're throwback hats, like, you know what I mean? They were brown hats, even though one was from Cleveland and one was from the 76ers.
They're old school hats.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Okay.
Well, like, the throwback hat is like, you know what I mean? We both had the same hats, but they were different teams, but they were the exact same color. Like, they'll do different colors in different teams that they're not really. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I know, well, not really, because I don't know
Like a
how
Bulls
that-
hat would be brown.
Oh, okay, so
Instead,
they would do...
yeah, they giving you this specialty colors.
Oh, okay.
So I had on, I don't know if I had on the 76ers or the Boston one, but we had them two hats. And we put them on, they was brown, the exact same color actually.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
okay.
So we pull up, you know what I mean? And we go up,
Okay, now when you get to the pull-up part, which way do you remember the car facing?
down.
So,
It's on a hill.
okay, alright. So you're facing down, and what side of the street did you park on, do you remember?
We faced on the house right in front of the house.
Okay, alright.
So we go up to the door, you know what I mean?
Okay,
We was gonna kick the door in, but when we tried to lock, the door was unlocked, you know what I mean?
okay,
So we went in, you know what I mean? I had the two guns, he had the one. I kind of scanned the area, you know what I mean? Going through. But
explain what you see when you go in.
as soon as you open the door, you see the living room, you see the kitchen. Since we knew the stuff was supposed to be in the kitchen, we go to the kitchen off the top, you know what I mean? Like, this is where it said, let's get this. So we go straight in. There's nobody in the living room. The house, like, you know what I mean? Looks like it's empty, you know what I mean? So we go in, we go to the kitchen, we looking around in the kitchen. I'm like, shit, we reaching up under these pots, looking around. It ain't nothing under there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we like, oh man, this fool's lied to us or something, you know what I mean? This ain't what you saying, and I don't see none of the equipment and shit that you said is gone, you know what I mean? So it's like a bus, you know what I mean? So we turn it around like we gonna leave out, and a kid comes out, you know what I mean?
Okay,
And when the little dude comes out, he's like, oh, and he kind of runs back in the room.
mm-hmm.
When he runs back in his room, he's you know what I mean? He's telling dude like, hey, wake up, you know what I mean? And there's a dude laying in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So the dude laying in the bed, he jumps up. You know what I'm saying? And we was like, I'm like, oh shit, we kind of shocked now. So Alex tell him like, you know what I mean? We both tell him get out, you know what I mean? Get out the bed, get on the ground, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He rolls out the bed, and the little dude kind of stands in the corner, you know what I mean? Just stands there. So I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I'm kind of trying to assess the situation. The dude starts like reaching under the bed, you know what I mean? So Alex tells him, hey, stop. We both tell him, hey, stop reaching, you know what I mean? I don't know what he's reaching for, but he's like reaching like this, under himself, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what I mean? I back up, like, okay, I'm trying to think about how we can get up out of here without, you know what I mean, some shit really going on in here, you know what I mean? So then he screams at dude again, hey, stop, you know what I mean? And the kid, you know what I mean, I'm looking at the kid like, oh, damn, man, then I hear the gun go off, I'm like, boom, I'm like, oh, man, I look. But when the gun goes off, it goes off like, it's like a boom, boom, and I'm looking like, oh, shit, and then the kid, he screams, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when the kid screams, he pops and boom, you know what I mean? He turned it. I'm looking at the dude on the ground now like, oh shit, he done shot this dude, you know what I mean? Even though it's like, it ain't no blood or nothing, but you know what I mean? Dude ain't even moving or nothing no more, you know what I mean? So the kid screams like, oh shit, you know what I mean? He's just screaming like, dad, you know what I mean? I'm looking at this dude, he pops dude, he pops the little dude. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh man, let's roll, you know what I mean? Let's go. He's like, nah, let's search the house. We can get the dope and shit, get the, you know what I mean, get everything. I'm like, man, hell nah, get your ass. Let's go. So we run up out of there. We jump in the car and shit. You know what I mean? I kind of trip out on him when we get in the car, like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why you shooting? What the fuck is wrong with you? He basically trips out too. He's like, you know what I mean? I got scared. He was reaching for something. You know what I mean? He kept saying he was reaching for something. I didn't see him. I seen him reaching, but I ain't see nothing that he could reach. You know what I mean? I couldn't see anything that he could get to that would cause a problem. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really trip off the situation until he popped him. You know what I'm saying? But even shooting him, I couldn't see that he was hit, but I knew he was hit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was like just bleeding out or nothing. But the thing that kind of tripped me out is when he popped the little dude. You know what I mean? She was like kind of uncalled for. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh hell no. So when we get back in the car, you know what I mean? I kind of trip out. You know what I mean? Like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why you do that shit? You know what I mean? You didn't have to do all of that. You know what I mean? It wasn't necessary. It's like, man, he was reaching for something. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, he couldn't have got nothing. You know what I mean? King was like, man, I was scared he was going. You know what I mean? So we jump in the car. We already in the car. We dip out. You know what I mean? We leaving. We get closer to downtown. You know what I mean? I thought, damn, I take his hat, I take all the clothing, everything, you know what I mean? And I put it in a bag. We had it in the bag. I take the guns, put everything in the bag. You know what I mean? So when I take the bag, I'm like, you know what I mean? Go downtown. So we go downtown. I take the clips, dismantle the firearm. I take the clothes, throw some of the shit in the dumpster, you know what I mean? I throw a little bit here and there, you know what I mean? But I don't get rid of everything. I just take it guns apart. You know what I mean? So when it gets later, we get downtown. He drops me off. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean? Well, let me out on me and go ahead and get on. You know what I mean? So they get on. It's gone. So I break these heats down and I get somebody to call me. I call, you know what I mean? My baby mama, she come pick me up. But you know what I mean? I had already disposed of everything. You know what I mean? So I never talked about it with them or nobody else, you know what I mean? She don't even know that when she picked me up, that none of that shit happened, you know what I mean? So I take the guns and shit, I take all the guns apart. I start throwing them in different places and shit, taking all the shells out the guns, you know what I mean? I throw a little bit here, throw a little bit there. I threw some shit in the gutter. I think I threw the top of it was the top of one of the Glocks and in a dumpster by the Burger King. Just, you know what I mean, riding around throwing, I just threw shit away with him, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when he throws, like, we throw all the shit away, then I call somebody to come get me. They go to the house and shit.
Who's they?
Alex.
Okay. Okay, now, let's go back to the clothing. Did you guys already dress before you went, or did you dress in the car? Did you have the clothes with you, or?
We had the clothes when we left the house.
Okay, and do you remember other than the dark color, thick clothing, and the hats? You did real good on the hats. Can you explain any of the shirts or anything like the hats?
Truthfully, it was just shit laying around the house, you know what I mean? Like shit that we just made sure that we didn't even want no more, you know what I mean? Just kind of like older clothing. I just remember it being, we always be in some darker clothing, something heavy, you know what I'm saying, to make ourselves look bigger.
Okay. Now, when you said about the guns, you had 3 guns.
Yeah.
Okay. Who had what guns? Because you're pretty good about guns, right? You know guns pretty good.
I mean, I ain't no gun expert, but I'm all right. I know a little bit.
Okay, so do you remember what guns you brought?
I had 2 Glocks.
Okay, what kind were they?
I don't want to say the exact model, but I know they were both 4.5s.
Okay. And what did Alex have?
It was like a little, yeah, I just know it was a 9. It was a little, you know what I mean? It looked like a little Beretta almost, but it wasn't no Beretta.
It was a 9? Did he have that gun before you before you guys left?
Yeah.
And did he always carry that one gun, or did you guys just forget it, or how did he get that gun?
I don't know where he got it from. He's just all, you know what I mean? He came with that gun.
Did you have the 245s?
Actually, I had one of the 4.5s. He had the other one.
Okay, so who had two guns?
I had 2 guns. I took 2 guns in,
Okay,
but he brought one of the 4.5s with me. You know what I mean? He brought a 4.5 and he brought a 9.
oh, okay.
Thinking I didn't have no gun.
Oh, okay, all
You know what I
right,
mean?
all right.
But I already had my own gun.
And they were both Glocks?
Yeah, he had the exact same model I had.
Okay, and did you guys get those guns together?
What you mean getting them together?
Did you get the guns, I mean, you knew he had the same 4.5 model you did? Did you
Yeah.
guys get him in a...
Nah, we just get guns off the streets, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you had those guns for a while when you got them?
I don't know how long he had his gun, but I had my gun for a little while.
Okay, describe his gun a little bit more. It was a 9mm and what else? Was
What do
it
you
black,
mean?
silver?
Black?
It was black?
Yeah.
Both the Glocks were black?
Yes.
Okay. And you took the gun from him after.
Yeah.
He gave both the gun to you. And you got rid of it. Did you break that one apart?
Yes.
You remember how it broke apart?
It broke apart from the top.
Okay. And you know the difference between 4.5, 9mm. What other guns do you know? What other calibers do you know?
And that's about it. I mean, I know there's 357 handgun, but like I said, I ain't no gun expert.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to know what kind of gun. I'm just trying to get your. I don't expect you to know everything.
Yeah.
But I do. I just trying to figure out what you know. Like, do you know the difference between? You listed 3 different calibers: 357, 4.5, 9mm. Any other kind of calibers you know of?
Nah, not really. Not for no handgun. Like,
Did you ever hear of a 380?
yeah, I heard of a 380.
Do you know the difference between a 380 and a 9mm?
Yeah, I know the difference between the guns.
What's the difference?
I know that the gun that he had was a 9mm, but it can shoot 380 bullets, just like a 9mm can shoot. I want to be sure about that.
Well, that's all right. You don't have to be. I'm just trying to ask you. And you saw me looking in my book.
No, I'm saying.
And I know what
because-
kind of caliber, because obviously you know that the gun threw the shells, right?
Yeah,
And how many shots did you hear total?
3.
3? Okay. But that's interesting that you tell me, how do you know that one shot 380s?
Because I've seen him with it. I've seen the fact that when when you can't shoot a 380, like when you ain't got no 380 bullets,
Mm-hmm.
it'll shoot 9 bullets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not no long 9s, but the short 9s it'll shoot.
Okay, short 9s or 380s.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that, don't tell me.
I mean, I don't
I'm not
want
trying
be.
to tell you the answer, but
Yeah.
is that what you're trying to say
Yeah.
to me? You're trying to say that short 9s are, because there's 9mm, 9mm.
Yeah.
And 380 is basically a 9mm, but it's a
Yeah.
shorter.
Yeah. Well, I just know that it was like, you know what I mean? It looked just like a Beretta.
Okay.
And that's why I keep saying 9mm. It has the exact same, you know what the standard issue Beretta looks like, right?
Yeah, but I used to have one.
It was a smaller version of that,
Okay.
just more compact.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The actual shells, I took the shells out
Okay.
and got to, you know what I mean, getting rid of them one by one. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I thought it was a 9. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
what I know for a fact is what I had was 4.5. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Because I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just trying to figure out your knowledge of guns and what you think it was and what you know it was.
I know about the 4.5s.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The short gun, like I said, it wasn't my gun. You know what I mean? So I can't say for sure. Like, okay, I thought it was a 9. I still think it's a 9. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a short. It was just a short Beretta. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Ain't Berettas 9s?
Well, they
The-
make all kinds of guns.
Yeah. Well,
Berettas make some. Beretta makes they make the whole gamut, don't they?
Yeah.
Now, Baca, they make 45s, 9
make
millimeters,
45.
380s.
okay.
They make little 25s, I think.
I know about the 4.5s, about the 2 guns I had, because I took the guns and I wiped down the shells and I loaded them guns myself. So I know about the 4.5s.
You even loaded the one he gave you?
Yes. I unloaded it and reloaded it
Really? And why did you do that?
because I don't know if he wiped the shells off.
Okay, see, that's the kind of stuff I like to hear. Those are the specifics that are important to me.
Well, I wiped the whole gun off. I don't know what he had done with that gun before, you know what I mean? So when I got both the guns, you know what I mean, I had my gun, I knew my shells and stuff, all that stuff was clean. So I took this one and he's like, well, I was like, well, don't trip, I'll just take them both, you know what I mean? So I took it, I wiped it down, I took the shells out, you know what I mean? Some of them was like hollow tips in there, and some of them was like regular shells. So, you know what I mean, I just wiped them down. It was just like enough to, you know what I mean? It was like somebody had 2 different boxes of bullets, just enough to make it enough to fit the clip, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wiped down the shells, I put them back on me, and boom.
Okay. You said Alex was driving. Is Alex was always driving?
Yes,
Even when you left?
yes.
Okay. You don't remember where you dumped the guns?
I just went downtown. I hit sewers, you know what I mean? I hit sewers, I hit dumpsters. I know it was a dumpster by Burger King.
Okay, are you talking downtown, or like
Downtown.
like down? Some people call downtown like 5 Points down there by Zonas and stuff.
I wouldn't know the difference.
You wouldn't know?
You know what I mean? I mean, I know where the 5 Points is, and I don't think we was nowhere by the 5 Points.
Okay.
But I know when we hit downtown, you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, find a dumpster. You know what I mean? Let's find the dumpster. I wanted to get rid of the clothing.
This is,
You know what I mean?
is this Burger King by the you know where the 16th Street Mall is, right?
Yeah.
Is it off the 16th Street Mall, a couple blocks or a block?
No, I don't think it was that one. I don't think it was the one. I know that one, like, right off the highway. I don't think it was right there.
No, it wasn't off the highway. This is off it's downtown by,
By Metro. Nah.
no, it's
Nah.
downtown.
We're like, the only reason I know that it ain't that one is because we were like in the heart of downtown, like downtown, and that's where I'll get lost. Like the Metro, like being around right there, I know my way around a little bit. But we was like in the spots where I really don't know my way around. Like if you was, I've been in a lot of nightclubs out here, and if you was like, well, meet me at this nightclub, I wouldn't know how to get there. I've been there 2 or 3 times. My like
You know
directionals.
you ever heard of tarantulas?
No. Tarantulas.
We're
just trying to get a
Yeah,
landmark.
area, yeah.
a landmark. You know, you know the convention center? Would you recognize that?
Yes.
Was it close to the convention center?
Truthfully.
I think back then it was Kurgan Hall, wasn't it?
No, the convention center.
Yeah,
And the Burger King right there, Stout would have been there. That's the one I think he was describing.
Yeah, because it's not there anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah, man, I had just seen somebody get shot, and I wasn't really thinking about no
I understand
landmarks.
that.
You know what I mean?
Like we're saying, we're just trying to
Yeah.
figure out. Now, explain to me the way that you guys went when you drove away. Do you remember?
I'm pretty sure we just went down the hill.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's on a hill.
Okay.
I know that for sure. We shot down the hill, and it's not too far from the highway,
Okay.
the house. You know what I mean?
Can you draw the house for me? Do you remember it that well to draw the rooms?
Not to draw the rooms, but like as far as
You draw pretty good. I think I've seen some of your drawings before. Aren't you kind of good at drawing?
I wish.
Can you kind of just draw the house for me that you remember?
Draw the whole house?
No, just what you remembered. I'm not telling you to draw the whole house.
Mhm.
Draw how you remember the front door and you can use the whole page. You don't have to just do just a little.
I just remember the house was like, it really was like not a nice house, but it had a new front door. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know if that's enough detail for you, but the door looked new.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But I just want you to kind of lay out when you went in, what you remember seeing in there.
Okay, that's better. That's what I was thinking. Like I
Yeah,
thought I was gonna draw the outside of the house.
No, I want you to draw I want you to draw how when you went in, the rooms, how you saw them, and you told me how you went back to the kitchen. Explain that.
Okay.
Show
okay.
that to me.
So.
Because that's important. Because that shows that
Give you a square.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to say this right here would be the kitchen.
Okay.
Like the kitchen is like, okay, that's the kitchen. And then the rooms, like it goes into like a little, even like this right here, like the rooms would be back here.
Okay.
It would be a room here and a room there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is the front door or whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? This is like the little living room area, but like the living room area, it's not blocked off, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So when you walk into the house, what you see first thing is the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? All of this is the living room over here.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're coming, if you're standing where the front door is,
Yeah. You
you're
can
saying
see
the living
everything
room's here to the left, and you're looking, and then the kitchen's to the, okay.
in the
all
front. So, yeah.
right. Or the right, it would be your right.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is right here. Now, this is some couches and shit. I really wasn't paying too much attention to that. We went straight to the kitchen, you know what I mean? Fondled around in the kitchen. And when we were popping out the kitchen, you know what I mean? This is where little dude kind of appeared, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So we're like, oh shit. So he runs back and runs into this room right here. You know what I'm saying? So everything kind of happened in this room, you did.
Okay, kind of explain, where was the victim at when he was laying down on the floor? Do you remember? If this is the room?
This is the door. I'll say, this is the bed.
Okay.
He was dealing with right here. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay, and then this is the bed and this is the wall?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
the wall. Like, it's like a little closet right here.
Okay.
And this is like, he wanted to search over here and shit, cause I guess he was like, dude kept this shit, like the dope and shit in here, and then he kept all the safe and I guess all the little stolen shit in this closet, you know what I mean? Or it wasn't like,
And you got this information from the guy that went in?
yeah, from the guy who went in, but apparently he had already know who the dude was, he just didn't really know where he stayed at, you know what I mean?
Okay. Had Alex been at this house before?
He didn't know how to find it, so I don't think so. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? He couldn't take me to it, so that's what we picked dude up for, you know what I mean? To show
Okay.
us this house.
Okay. Alright. And then,
Little dude's right here,
when little dude was shot, where was he?
right there,
Okay. Was he standing up or was he laying down?
standing up.
Okay. Did he ever say anything to you, or?
He never said nothing. I never heard him say anything.
And what about the little kid?
All he said was, he just screamed, you know what I mean? That's all I heard him ever say, you know what I mean? When he ran, when he was right here in the beginning, you know what I mean, at the kitchen, he kind of, you know what I mean, when he seen us, he was like, oh, and he ran. And I heard him like, Dad, get up, you know what I mean? I don't know if it was his dad, I don't know if he was saying dad, but I know he was saying, you know what I mean, just making loud noise. So that's what made me like, oh shit, somebody else is in there too, you know what I mean? I'm thinking he said dad, you know what I mean? So we ran, when we shot back, we shot in the room, you know what I mean?
Okay, were you pointing the guns at him?
Yeah.
Okay, did you tell him to go back that way?
No, we didn't tell him to go back. He ran back.
You guys just had the hats?
Yeah,
No masks?
no mask.
Alright. Did your hats ever fall off, or?
No.
I need to interrupt. I got a text message from the district attorney, and we need to have this signed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, we forgot that.
Do you wanna do that right now?
Yeah, let's,
Yeah, we might as well do it now. That doesn't negate anything, and don't worry about that.
that's why the tape is on, so it doesn't ever get screwed up.
Did I? Let me look at this, do you remember where the victim was shot at? Do you remember where he was shot? Did you see where he was shot?
Nah, I just heard the gun go off, you know what I mean? I know he was hit, and he was on his stomach, so I'm thinking in his back, you know what I mean? I know he was laying down like that.
Okay, so if you're in the room here, if you're in this room, where were you standing?
At the door,
And where was Alex?
right here with me.
Okay. Alright. So you were to the side of the door.
We were barely in the room. We're basically exactly like how they are right now.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
If this was the bed and it was pushed over a little bit further, like towards the wall, you know what I mean? The door is right here. The closet's right here. You know what I mean?
No, I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Is this a good depiction of the house? And you just drew it for me. It was pretty close. So, if this is the room
Exactly. Whoa.
that you're talking about, does that depict the house that you think that you were in?
Oh, hell no.
Don't let all the numbers and all that stuff.
Nah, the numbers is not what's getting me. It's this extra room right here.
Okay.
Either the living room, the kitchen, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what my picture is, like this.
Yeah, it is.
This is my front. This is the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is the living room. See how it is?
Yeah.
This is the hallway.
I wouldn't have showed you this if I didn't think you were pretty
Exactly.
close.
You know what I mean? Now, what shocks me is this the room you talking about?
No.
Or is this the room? See
This
what I'm
is
saying
the
is-
farthest room.
Okay.
This is the house.
Okay. I understand.
You're
what saying.
showing the farthest room here too.
Exactly. See, I just don't remember passing this room right here. You feel
Well, I
me?
can tell you the truth. When you were talking about it, I didn't remember that room being there.
I don't
either.
think that room was there.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
It
say.
was. It was.
Okay, well, if we passed all that then,
Okay.
you know what I mean? And it's just like this.
Okay. So now.
This is number 3 would be, dude, the bed would be right here, right? This
Okay.
would be where dude, you know what I mean? And this is like the closet right here. It's like a
Okay.
built-in like closet thing.
Okay. So this is when you're saying you come in the door, you were standing over in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and Alex are standing here. Alex, you're here. Alex is here.
We're barely in the room, you know what I mean?
Okay.
When we first came in the room, you know what I mean? We still shocked that it's anybody in the house. Like, shit, you know what I mean? So,
What'd you think when you walked in the front door? You didn't think anybody was home. You didn't.
when we were there, when we passed by the first time, it was like 5 or 6 cars out there, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of cars out there, so that's what made us automatically like, nah, we ain't gonna do this right now. With all these people here, hell no, there's no way I'm gonna go in there like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then when we came back by, all the cars was gone,
Okay.
you know what I mean? And that's when we went. I was gonna kick the door, but you know what I mean? I was like, you know what I mean? I'm looking like, ain't nothing. I'm looking around, you know what I mean? Kind of looking like, but ain't nobody in there, so you know what I'm saying? So I was still gonna kick it so we could go look for the shit in the kitchen, you know what I mean? Anyway, but tried the door, the door was just open. You know what I mean? So we went in. When we go looking around, you know what I mean? That's just how it all kind of happened.
Okay, so you never went in the backyard.
The backyard? No, he went and looked around to the back. You know what I mean?
Okay,
He
well, see,
looked.
yeah. Now tell me about that.
He went and looked like he was gonna jump into the backyard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's another thing. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Okay, well tell
He
me.
went
about
and
that.
looked like he, you know what I mean? Because he was just gonna break in. But that's how we figured nobody was home. I was like, go in there, because we knew the living room was right there. So I'm
Okay.
telling him like, hey, see how many people was in there, if there's somebody in there. He's like, ain't nobody home, you know what I mean? So he came back around the front. He was like, okay,
And who was that did that?
Alex.
Okay, so now tell me what he said when he went to the backyard.
He was like, shit, ain't nobody there, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody there.
He went into the backyard.
No, I don't think he went into the backyard. He went around to the back, but I don't think he jumped into the fence though.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
He just went like behind the house. I don't know if there's an alley back there or nothing, because I didn't go back there, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
He went back there. So when I stayed at the front door, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right. When he comes back around, he's like, shit, ain't nobody even there. Ain't nobody home, you know what I mean? I'm like, what? So I'm gonna kick this door, you know what I mean? But the door open. You feel me?
Mhm. So, did he tell you that there was a dog in the backyard or anything like that?
Nah, he didn't say nothing about no dog.
Alright. You didn't see no dog?
I didn't see no dog. I didn't hear no
No
dog.
dog barked or anything?
Nah, I would have known about a dog. I don't like dogs. Not that kind of dog.
Okay.
People's dogs tend to bite people. Mm.
Now when you guys leave, you go your separate ways. You get rid of the guns and the clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you guys have on underneath that you were? I mean, you
Just
were able
regular.
to.
Just regular, like what I say, when I call it padding, I say it's like to make us look bigger. Like right now, if this shirt had long sleeves, it would be something I would wear, you know what I'm saying? So I could just take it off, and when I take it off and ditch it, it's like I got something completely new on.
Okay.
It's
All right. So you
basically
guys
just
had
old
several
clothes.
layers on.
Yeah,
Okay. And everybody had their own layers.
yeah.
So when you took the clothes, it was just the top clothes. You didn't take no
Yeah.
pants or nothing.
No,
It was just the shirts, the hat, and then the guns. Okay. Do you guys talk about this after?
a little bit. We basically made a vow not to talk about it anymore, you know what I mean?
Okay. Now, what was the vow? What did you guys talk about?
Like shit, like we ain't never gonna talk about this shit ever again. It's, right now it's over. What happened happened. It was fucked up, but we ain't gonna never talk about this ever again.
Okay. So time goes on. What do you do when I come and do the warrant? What happens then?
Shit, I spaz out. I don't know what's going on. You remember I was in jail, you know what I mean? So when you came to me, everything is like, I don't know what's going on. You came to me out the blue. I'm figuring everything right there was over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you talked. Your brother was the first one that got arrested. Your brother. You knew about it because your dad called you.
I was in jail. How would my dad call me?
Well, I mean, you called because it was close to your dad's birthday, and you had called your dad.
No, I was in the hole.
Oh, so you didn't know anything about it until
I didn't know nothing
came
about this. I was in the hole. They took me. I was in Delta.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They called me and arrested me off the yard. They put me in the hole. In the hole, I called home.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on. I was going to tell him to get me a lawyer.
Okay. All right. But did you and Alex talk about this?
No.
You've never talked about Alex about this since the day it happened. You and Alex have never had any discussions.
Not about that. I talked to him, I think, when I was in the hole. I called home, and my dad had told me that they had arrested
Yeah, we're gonna have to get by that.
Skip that. Ask another question.
Alright. So, basically all I wanna know is did you and Alex have conversations about this over all this time? Because we're talking, what, 5 years now? Yeah, you and Alex never had any conversations about this?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, what'd you talk about?
You?
Tell me about it.
He said that when I got out, he told me that you had came and contacted his people or somehow or another.
Okay, tell me
And the
about
case was still active.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
and what'd you talk about?
Just talked about like shit, it is what it is. If you was gonna charge us with it, you would have charged us with it. And we had to do it then.
Okay, so what did he talk about when I talked to his people? Because, I know his grandpa. I work with him. So tell me what he said about that. Because I gave him the letters. I gave him copies of you guys' letters.
Yeah, but them letters was about some Mexican kid that he used to hang out with that caught a case.
Okay. But they
And
were
he
still
got like a life
addressed.
sentence for the case or something.
Okay.
So yeah, he talked about the letters, but
Okay, what did he say? I need to know that stuff. What did he talk about?
Oh, he talked about you going to talk to his grandpa.
Okay.
He told me that they had that you was talking about the case was still open, and pretty much that was it. Like, you know what I mean, that you was still on the case and the case was still active, basically. You know what I mean? We was like, shit, if you gonna charge us with it, you gonna charge us with it. You know what I mean? He told us, I guess, some of whatever you told his grandpa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wanted to get us, you know what I mean, basically, and charge us with this shit. But it wasn't no evidence at the time, and you wanted him to come forward at the time, whatever else.
So did he ever talk about,
I was just looking at his shoe.
did you ever talk about,
Sorry.
did you ever talk about, him being the shooter, or if he ever said, hey, you gonna always back me on this, or, cause see, that's what we're here today is you're here to help yourself.
Yeah.
So every little bit that you can tell me, I need to know, because see, what do you think Alex is gonna do when he gets charged with this? What do you think's gonna happen if he gets charged with this?
Shit, he's gonna come in here and I ain't no telling what he's gonna do, you know what I mean? I can't tell you what he's gonna do.
Well, what do you think would be the best thing for him to do?
Get a lawyer.
Yeah, that's the
Such
best
a good
thing
compliment.
to do. But the thing he'll do is say, well, I wasn't the shooter, it was Edward.
Shit, I don't know why he would say something like that, but if he does, I mean, I came to you, you know what I mean?
You did.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could tell you how it happened. I mean, I couldn't go get the guns or none of that stuff over again, but hey.
Okay, I know, but that's what I want. You need to tell me everything you can, so I know that that I'm charging the right guy with the crime. Because if you're the shooter and you get your sentence, and then Alex isn't really the shooter, see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
That's the biggest concern of everybody.
Okay, yeah.
The whole world wants that question answered.
Okay.
And I got to go to the district attorney and say, okay, Alex is the shooter because 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Okay, you did give me some good specifics.
Okay.
That are going to help you.
Okay.
But I need every little thing. Did he ever say to you in front of anybody or anything like, hey, you know what? You always got my back on that. I'm sorry I fucked up. Anything like that? Any conversation?
Any conversation we always had, it was like, we both know what happened. It was like, it goes without saying. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna keep this 100, you know what I mean? We ain't gonna say nothing to nobody. We don't gotta say nothing to nobody. It was only, you know what I mean? It was us there. So we know what it was, you know what I mean? I got on his ass a little bit about it, but...
Okay, tell me about that.
I was mad about the shooting, you know what I mean? It was unnecessary. You know what I mean? Maybe if you got scared because the dude reaching for whatever, but the kid didn't, that don't make sense to me. You know what I mean? He's not a threat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I had a problem with regardless, shit, even after that, what could this little dude do to us, to me?
Well, he's jacked up.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm grown, you know what I mean? This little kid cannot hurt us or stop us. He's a kid, you know what I mean? So I'm basically like, that was unnecessary, that was stupid, that was, you know
How
what I
old
mean?
do you think he was?
I have no idea. He couldn't have been that old. He was only about that tall, you know what I mean? So he couldn't have been more than
You remember what he looked
10,
like?
11. Kind of.
Tell me.
Chicano. He was light. He wasn't no dark kid, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have no real hairy little head, but he was like, he had some hair and shit. I can't remember exactly what he had on or nothing. I just know he was a kid, you know what I'm saying? That shit wasn't cool just because, you know what I mean?
So did you guys ever do any other robberies that went bad?
No. Not ever with me.
You never shot, nobody ever got shot in any other robberies?
Never.
You got any questions?
Yeah. If we showed you a photograph of
Oh God, I forgot about
Alex, would you be able to recognize it?
Yeah.
How long you known Alex?
Since around when I got out the first time, so it'd have to be 03 when I had just got out.
That's a good question. How long before did you get out before this happened?
It couldn't have been, I want to say a couple months, maybe a couple months.
Okay.
The time frame don't really hit me.
When did you get out in 03?
I just know it was like edging summer. I know this happened in the summer because it was hot. I can't say the exact date.
But you got it out like spring,
Yeah.
early summer?
If he walked through the door, could you identify him? If he walked, you've seen Alex more than 10 times, right?
Yes.
If he came through the door, you know who he was, right? Okay. I need him to sign that. Put the date and your initials. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, use this one.
I've not seen him before, so I was curious.
And that's Alex, right?
Yes. I'll sign it with my name. He don't really look like that.
And the initial, today's date is 4/23. You don't look like that anymore?
No, not really.
It's not that old of a picture.
He isn't.
4/20, 4/08.
420 what?
4/24. Okay. And then I'd like to show another picture. Is that all right?
Depending on who it is, yeah.
Well, it's the
It's not
first.
the problem that, it's not the,
Yeah,
no.
because it's his.
Yeah, let's not do that. We can take a break and talk about that, but
Okay.
let's not do that.
All right. Okay, that's done. What other questions you got?
Besides the person we're not gonna talk about, okay, and you and Alex, was there anybody else with you?
No.
We're not talking about that,
No.
just leave that alone, but is there anybody else with you?
No.
Okay. And you were in Alex's tan and gold Jeep,
Yes.
and you guys left the place,
Yes.
and did you separate downtown, or did you guys drive around downtown? Because I was kind of unclear about that. It's first you said you separated downtown, and then you said you drove
We
around.
drove around downtown and then we separated.
Okay, so did you dispose of the stuff when you were with Alex,
Out of soles of the clothing.
when you were with Alex?
Yes.
And then you had the straps, the guns?
Well, see, like some of the gun stuff, we were downtown, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to keep stopping at stores. I didn't want to throw the guns in the dumpster, really, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I threw the clothes in the dumpster. And then when I was breaking down the guns, it was like, I don't know, maybe we was paranoid or scared. We just like kept seeing the police, you know what I mean? So we was like, shit, you know what I mean? I ain't like, we can't just keep stopping at these little, you know what I mean, these gutters, you know what I mean? So I threw some of the shells in the, you know what I mean, in the gutter, and then some of them in the trash, you know what I mean? Because it was 3 guns, you know what I mean? So when we broke them down, I broke them down. I threw some of them in the dumpster, you know what I mean? But mostly.
Were you on foot or were you in the car?
We was in the car, but like we kept stopping. That's what I kept saying. Like we wasn't gonna keep stopping downtown like that. You know what I mean? I threw most of the shells in the gutter, but I threw some of them in the dumpster. You know what I mean? But the gun parts, I wanted to make sure we got in the gutter. You know what I mean?
In the sewer.
Yeah, cause you know the water and
In
all
the
that
storm
shit.
sewer.
Yeah.
And then, just try to get this landmark thing, was this where all the big buildings are, all of the
Yeah.
skyscrapers and that kind of stuff is? And all the
Yeah.
nightclubs are downtown and lower downtown? Is that
Yes.
kind of the area we're talking about?
The only real stop I remember making was the one by Burger King, cause you know what I mean? It was food, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, find the dumpster, let's find these dumpsters, you know what I mean? I just wanted to get rid of all this clothing first, you know what I mean?
Did you stop at the Burger King and eat?
No.
No? You were too jammed up at that
Yeah,
point.
we was, man, you know what I mean? We wasn't thinking about no food at that time.
Okay. And do you remember the dude you took? You went and picked up the dude, the Hispanic male, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember his name? Did he have a name? Did
He
you call him
didn't say.
anything? Any monikers?
He really didn't say his name or nothing like that. I didn't really want to say anything to him because he didn't know me, you know what I mean? I didn't want to know him, he didn't know me. I was going to let them two deal, you know what I mean? That way, it kind of kept us both. You know what I mean? He don't know me, I don't know
Yeah,
him.
keep you safe. I
You know what I
understand.
mean?
And you talked about he was light complected, he had a close haircut.
Yeah.
He had hair, but it was like a fuzzy.
It wasn't bald, but it was like fuzzy.
Okay. And this is a guy that Alex knew?
Yes,
So Alex knew.
yes.
And Alex and him and Alex basically,
Yeah, they knew each other. See,
was him and Alex doing business?
I don't know if they're like, he knows Alex from business, I'm guessing, because this dude is older, you know what I mean? It ain't somebody you wouldn't deal with him if you didn't want some kind of little business shit from little Alex, you know what I mean?
How old?
How old is the dude? He was older than me, so I know he had to be, I'm saying he's in the mid, if he ain't 25 or better, you know what I mean? Either 25 to about, I'd say 30.
Okay. When you went in the door,
Yeah,
were your weapons charged? You know what I mean by that?
yes,
Okay. Were they charged?
yes.
Okay.
And how do you know Alex's was?
Because we talked to him before we went in. When we first got out of the car, you know what I mean? We were in the car. We was making sure, because remember when we passed by, it was all them cars in the front. So we were expecting people at first, you know what I mean? Like, shit, we're gonna have to, you know what I mean, lay them down. We didn't know, like when the cars had left, we still figured somebody might be there, you know what I mean? Just not that many people, you know what I mean? So when he went around, he was like, ain't nobody here, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, that makes it even better, you know what I mean? It'd just be more like something like a burglary, I guess, you know what I mean? Just the way we go in there and grab this shit out of here.
Okay, and this guy tells you what makes. Do you mind if I keep?
No, go ahead.
Why all of a sudden does Alex decide to rob this guy on this date?
The date means nothing to me. I don't know about the date, but I know that they had some kind of bad business, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was because of the stolen equipment shit. But I know that, you know what I mean, it was either over some dope or some stolen little shit that they've been getting out of the little burglaries, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I know dude kind of burned him some kind of way, you know what I mean? So basically we was gonna get the dope and get, you know what I mean, stuff from him. The dude that when we went past with him, he was basically like, you know what I mean, he told us where all this dude's dope was and shit, you know what I mean? He knew where the dope was in the house. We, as far as him, he knew how to deal with it. He knew who this dude was, just not where he stayed at, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when he told me, he's like, well, that's where he stays at, and that's where the dope is, you know what I mean?
Okay,
It's
so
under the kitchen.
so how did Alex, if he didn't know where he was at, Alex never directly brought this stuff to him?
I don't know.
He was going through a
this is
third
something
person.
This is something they had established before I had even ever got out. They were already onto that little burglary shit, you know what I mean? I ain't even know Alex then, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Did he tell you what you were going after? Was it weed,
It
crack?
was dope.
Well,
Yeah.
crack? Was it cocaine?
Cocaine or
Yeah.
Meth?
Yeah. That's cocaine. It's
Just
just
cocaine?
When I say dope, it's like that.
All right. So you did.
Yeah.
So was it powder you were going after, or was it rock?
It's supposed to be powder, I guess. Powder, some of the little, like, it was supposed to be a combination of the stuff, I guess. The stuff that he was getting from Alex with this burglary shit. And then, you know what I mean, the dope and the money stuff, you know what I mean? The dope part of it was supposed to be in the kitchen, you know what I mean? I guess that's where he either cooks it up or whatever else he does with it.
Okay, and you're sure that they went in the front door? You can go in the back.
No, we didn't go in the back at all.
Okay. Okay. There was one other question I needed to ask you. Was anybody wearing a, when you're saying you were doing layers, was anybody have a jersey on in those layers?
A jersey?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember no jersey. But I don't see no jersey being on. We you talking about like a hockey
game,
jersey or
what
something?
game? No, like a football jersey, like a.
You were wearing basketball stuff. Were you wearing any matching basketball stuff?
No. We wouldn't have never wear no basketball stuff, you know what I mean? You don't layer with basketball stuff, you know what I mean? I don't remember nobody wearing no jersey, you know what I mean? But don't say that it couldn't have happened, you know what I mean? If it was a dark jersey or something, okay, but I don't remember no jersey, you know what I mean? All I know for sure the hats, you know what I mean? But I don't think nobody was wearing no jersey.
Okay. I wanted to show you that picture I have. I just have to find it because I put it in two different places in here.
What's that?
Well, that's the composite that the little kid gave us. You see, there's a jersey.
Man, I don't even own a jersey, so I know he wasn't talking about me. Second of all, I had a hat on.
Okay, you're right.
Could have never been me.
Was everybody wearing a hat?
Yeah. And that's how I know that.
I think we'll take a break right now. You guys have any questions or anything?
Oh no,
Okay.
just if you're happy, be happy.
He's getting there.
It's getting satisfied, happy in the sense of satisfied, sorry, bad choice of words.
me just review the, we'll take a break. Can you go to the bathroom or anything? You good?
Shit, I could piss if you could grab me a soda, we could do that too.
Okay. Give us a minute and we'll get you an escort over.
So does the tape turn off when you guys leave?
You want it off? No, it's on, it's going.
It's on? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Just
can
leave the
kinda
door
let,
open.
we can kinda let you know it.
Well,
That's fine. Okay, you're not gonna get to court. Do you wanna go now? I know you're gonna be late, or you wanna leave and come back and we'll wait for you?
It's not till 3. Court's across the street.
So it should be quick. But the question is it a hearing or is it an appearance?
It's a hearing, but not an evidentiary hearing. Just argument.
Huh.
Whether the witness is unavailable, and whether her statements are admissible.
Could be 30 minutes, could be 5.
It'll be 5 to 30, I would say. But I can't be late for it, it's just my matter.
Yeah.
We can talk about logistics when they come back. I think it's all.
Yeah. They're going back to talk to each other. They've been watching through the video.
Is it off?
No, it's on.
I bet you he thinks I'm lying because he got me nervous.
He's watching.
I don't care.
We do.
I just wanted to say that. You know what I mean? It was so long ago, you know what I mean? Every
You're fine.
fine little detail I don't have in my brain no more, you know what I mean?
It's 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm saying it's 5 years ago you asked me about single details. It's some things I just don't remember.
I don't think he was picking at you. I think what he was trying to
Trying
do
to
is to
get
give
me
you
to
the
understand,
opportunity
yeah.
to fill it out. I think they have knowledge about those things, and he was trying to see if you could confirm or correct it in any way. Don't you think? And obviously, he has a lot of knowledge about the conversation with Alex's grandfather.
Do you think I'm off or on?
I think you're on.
I'm trying to think. I've seen a million videos taken from this room, and I don't think I'm on.
Yeah.
I think it just goes like, because the door.
Oh no, you're off. I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're off.
Yeah.
And then know about the car. I don't know if Alex's grandfather knew about the car. They had a witness. So are they gonna come get you to the bathroom, you think? And get you a drink?
Yeah.
Why don't you guys about it
I have to run to the bathroom and get
So do I, but I think we have to have an escort to get out.
You guys couldn't get out of that door anyway.
Exactly.
Told you.
No, I thought you were like, okay.
Can I go to the bathroom? Or do I need an escort? I probably need an escort.
We will need.
Do you want to the restroom? Do you need an escort?
Will you let me?
Just go over to the left.
Will you let me back in here?
I will.
Okay.
Do the handshake. I'm gonna shut this door, okay?
Yeah.
go ahead and take him to the, oh, your lawyer's left?
They went to use the bathroom already.
Oh, okay, well, let's take you.
Dude, they went up there.
Hey, excellent. This is good, 'cause I was gonna cut and paste. I think I'll be okay.
Oh, they took them. I might go get a soda out of that soda machine.
Soda. I think he would buy you a soda if you would ask. Okay. Sorry.
Hey, can we talk for a second?
Yep. Is the video still going?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
We'll go out here and talk.
honestly don't remember Mayor Webb. Who we-
Oh, I see, you want to crack down on the pot?
Oh, yeah.
Cookie Bucks.
Yes.
Sodomizer?
Regular
We did,
Coke.
but we have all our own, we used to have all our own little stashes. And we'd pay $1 or whatever, and then we'd use it for Christmas parties and going away gifts.
For 10.
No, here's $1.
Thank you, Protector Ivanka. I'll pay you for that.
Yeah. Anyway, so because they were losing tax money,
Yeah, so it earned
She just went and got me a Coke.
I don't have Coke.
She went and bought me one.
Oh, she did? Oh,
Give
okay.
this one back though. Nah,
No, here, let me take this one back, cause
come
the
on, let me
detective
get
wants it.
Nah, it's only one.
Yeah. There's
You
only
serious?
one. Yeah, that's the last one. Thanks, man. Hey, Okay,
Do you soda?
we're back
Promised
in
a
the,
soda.
oh, he didn't get a soda?
He did not.
Oh,
I
thought you-
took the soda from him
He
because
told
I
me
thought
he
he
was
was gonna
getting
give
you one,
one.
so
I thought you were gonna give him one. Where's it
I
at?
was, it's in the fridge.
Alright.
You want that, still that Dr. Pepper, or there's some
Coke.
Fresca and,
Coke.
there's no Coke, we don't have Coke, everybody drinks the Coke.
Dr. Pepper?
That's cool.
Okay. We're back on tape again. We took a little break. It's 2:15. Time on the in case the camera doesn't show the time on the wall. We took about a 10-minute break. Same date, April 24, 2008, and we're here with the same people. Only thing is Bach is going to come back in, and Victoria Sharp left.
Different.
The other interview, she's still not in the present in the interview room. There's just a couple questions I have to follow up. When you guys, who was giving all the commands, the orders in the house? Who's telling everybody to, like, who's the one that first comes in contact with the little kid and everybody goes into the back room or sees the little kid or points a gun at him or whatever?
It really wasn't no like order, you know what I'm saying? He seen us and kind of ran, so we kind of followed, you know what I mean?
And who was the one that was following right behind him?
Alex was directly behind him, but I was right there on the back, you know what I mean? When we got in the room, he was standing closer in and I was right here. We was both pretty much side by side, you know what I mean?
Okay, but what I'm trying to get at is Alex was in front of you. The kid was first, then it was Alex, and then it was you.
Nah,
Well, here's the diagram you
yeah.
read.
What I'm saying is, when we came from the kitchen, you know what I
Okay.
mean? He popped out like right here.
Okay,
I don't know if he heard us in there or whatever,
okay,
but you know what I mean? I was still right here, you know what I mean? And Alex kind of hurried up, you know what I mean? He kind of seen him first, and I'm like, oh shit. So we kind of, like, you know what I mean? We didn't have to tell him to go anywhere. He was already moving, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he was finna run, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So we basically just chased behind him, you know what I mean?
okay,
So when we got to the room, boom, we hit the door. The older dude was still in the bed, you know what I mean? And the kid just stayed right there, just stayed like standing up right there in the corner. you know
Did
what I mean?
anybody say get on the ground or anything like that?
Yeah. We told him to get on the ground. We kind of both told him, you know what I mean, just get on the ground, you know what I mean? We were trying to be scary. Just, you know what I mean, to roll him out the bed, you know what I mean? He just kind of rolled out the bed. He didn't like stand up and then get down.
Okay.
He kind of just rolled and got on, you know what I mean?
Did he not do what you were saying, or?
No, he did everything.
Well, then you said he was standing up when he was shot.
He was, we were worried about him. Little dude wasn't like a threat. We wasn't even worried about him like that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
He was just kind of standing there shocked, you know what I mean? And that's why I was standing there like, you know what I mean? I hadn't even got into the action of what I'm, you know what I mean? Okay, well, let's get him next to him or get him, you know what I mean? We
Okay.
hadn't even got that far yet, you know what I'm saying? When we got into the room, you know what I mean? Dude, when he laid down, you know what I mean? He got down, but like, I don't know if he had, he was reaching for something, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like he could get it, whatever it was, you know what I mean? We was like, quit moving, you know what I mean? But really, I'm looking at little dude, like, damn, I'm looking back and forth, like, okay, this is what we gonna do. I was thinking about making them both, you know what I mean, come out of the room and get on the ground, because, you know what I mean? But he was already on the ground, you know what I mean? But it was like the room, I'm trying to get them to get away from, you know what I mean, being in this back room, because now we're in the back of this place, you know what I mean? And now we don't know who else is here, because we didn't even know they were there, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking like, okay, we gonna get to moving, you know what I mean? Do something, but I didn't even get a chance to react. And then he popped him, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Did you ever read my warrant?
No,
Never read it?
I never got it.
Okay. So nobody told you to say you and Alex didn't concoct, who had what guns, or you never, nothing like that?
What do you mean concoct, like?
Well, did you guys ever say if any of us gets caught, you say you have the .485 and I'll say I had the 9mm or anything like that?
No.
Never talked about that?
How was the,
Did anybody ever tell you what kind of guns were used in this case?
did somebody else tell me?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. Well, sometimes we don't ask all the right questions, and sometimes people don't tell us things unless we ask.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wanna tell us about this? Anything else that happened or that I don't know about or I need to know that I didn't ask you?
I can't. What I'm saying is, I know you're leading towards something.
No, I know, I'm not
You know what I
going
mean?
there.
But the question is, I don't know what you're looking for that I haven't said. You know what I mean?
Okay, alright.
What I'm saying is, you know what I mean? It feels incomplete to me too. But what I'm saying is like, you're not asking me, and I don't know what you're looking for. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
I understand.
Like we both searching for the same thing. As much as I've told you already, how that exactly happened is how that exactly happened. I took the 2 guns because I'm the oldest and I'm the biggest. You know what I mean? So I took the big guns. You know what I mean?
Okay, but nobody, as far as you know, nobody had a jersey on. Could have somebody had a jersey on? No.
The jersey's identifying. We would have been like, no, off the top. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what you're telling me here though is when you go in this room, you're kind of watching this guy. You're not really paying attention to him because he wasn't really a threat to you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody said. There was no discussion that you were going to go in and shoot anybody prior to this, or
No.
okay.
Can I say something to him?
You got anything else?
I'm sure it'll come to me later, but no.
I guess like after the whole little investigation or whatever, I guess you talked to Alex's people. You know what I mean? After you talked to him, Alex came back and talked to me. You know what I mean? Now, like the gun thing, that wasn't, like that part of it wasn't discussed, like what kind of guns and all of that right there. But I guess whatever you had told him was insufficient evidence in the case, you know what I mean? Or whatever else, you know what I mean? And that's what he came back and told me, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but that's what I know, you know what I mean? He told that you guys went over a couple things or whatever, and from what his grandpa got out of it, you know what I mean? It wasn't the case, you know what I mean?
Okay, because did Alex talk to you when I talked to him? Because he turned himself in.
Yeah.
Did he tell you about what we talked about?
Not really, a little bit. Basically, he said that there was a drawing, you know what I mean? And that was pretty much it. He was like, there wasn't a case. Nobody said they was involved into it, you know what I mean, or nothing, so.
Okay. There was something else I was going to say, and I don't write stuff down, so then I forget.
I mean, it was so long ago, the details was kind of fuzzy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, and as this works out, you would be willing to testify against Alex, right?
From what I understand, I would have to. That's part of this.
Yeah, but you would do that, right?
I would have to.
Well, I know, I understand that, but doing it and getting up there and actually doing it, saying you're gonna do it and actually getting up there and doing it are two different things.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna do it.
Alright.
We'll take that walk when we get to that part.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay.
As this goes on, am I gonna be able to do this again? If I find out some more stuff I need to ask, or?
I think that in light of our agreement in the email, that's included.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that
what I'm
that would be
trying to-
necessary in order
Okay.
for us to ensure that you continue to be consistent with what we've discussed
Okay.
or what I outlined. Yes.
Alright, I don't have anything else to you.
No, we can go on to the next.
And then I
subject.
left my video sheet outside by the case. So, we're gonna go ahead and end this. It's today's the same date, April 24th, 2008, and the time is about 2:25 p.m. I'll go hit the tape. We'll end this one.
Okay. So now they're gonna come back and they're gonna start prompting, other events. Anything other than, Denver has not told us the scope of what they're gonna ask you about. They may ask you about anything. Anything, they have already addressed any shooting, any homicide, any injuries, so this is more relating to robberies, burglaries. You could come back. Would that work?
Yeah, that's,